Hey, moviegoers, Dimitri Panos here, along with my good friend and co-host Kit Bowen, which means you're in for another episode of KDM. That stands for Kit Dimitri Movies, and it is our kingdom today. For in today's episode, we will be talking and reviewing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Hi, Kit. How are
Hi,
you?
good. It's been a hot minute, so I'm glad to be
It's
back.
been it's been a minute. It has been. I've missed you. But I'm glad you're back. It was a pleasant, awesome surprise. Hey, I'm seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Me too.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately, I know we were thinking about doing a review for Fall Guy last week, but of course I was out of town and then I just things got a little beyond me there and I forgot. So, but I did
really,
love Fall Guy and I'm sure you did too. I
me
know
too.
you did.
Oh, yeah, I did. I did. And but before, because in my review for Fall Guy, in my opening paragraph, I had said that, geez, I had such a good time watching Fall Guy. I hope it's a harbinger for what's to come this summer.
Mm.
And now Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at that point was a what's to come, and now it has come, and we're kicking off summer. So, why don't we kick off this review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? So, Kit, what did you think of this kingdom?
You know what? I've really enjoyed all of these movies, to be honest with you. I mean, they've been kind of intense and sad and, you know, very somber compared to the original campy, which I still watch to this day, by the way. I'll still watch that. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, the 1968 one. But with Kingdom, we've been building up to this finally. Um, Following Caesar's rise of sorts. But now we have jumped ahead many generations for Kingdom. And I guess we've sort of caught up with the original 1968 film in a way. It's certainly not the same. It's not a remake in any way, shape, or form, but it is certainly a reimagining of that time period, I guess, in this universe, in this Planet of the Apes universe. So there's a lot of fun Easter eggs in it, I thought. Certainly,
Uh-huh.
yeah, certainly. And those were not missed by the audience I was watching with. They'd go, oh, they laughed, like with the doll. And so anyway, yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed these films and I thought this was a nice I guess is this the last one? I'm not sure. Is it?
They didn't say, I mean, I don't think it was set up to be a last one. I mean,
Right.
in Hollywood these days, everything's set up to be a trilogy. But I think with cost
But
cutting and budgeting, I read an article that now they're looking to get two movies out of it. So what do I know? I mean,
well,
but
I
it
think
didn't,
I
to me, it did not
originally
end
Yeah, I originally
as
had
if it
read
were
that
going to be
the
last one.
director was going to do it in a trilogy or like an arc, a saga, and this would be the last one. Anyway, if this were the last one, I'd be happy with that. If there's more, we'll see what they can come up with. But the premise basically is, like I said, several hundred years later after Caesar's rise, and he is now revered as sort of a god of sorts to the apes, which, you know,
Is
obviously
he?
should be
I mean, well, we're gonna talk.
not a
We'll
god,
talk
but
about that.
I mean,
We'll talk about that.
his philosophies, which even in the movies leading up to it, there was that sort of dichotomy between violence and compromise or peace or whatever
Sure, sure,
that
absolutely.
came out
Well,
of what Caesar, but ultimately Caesar meant to be peaceful and not, be at war. So I think ultimately
well,
it was a kind,
I think we're gonna explore that theme a little bit later.
yeah.
Yeah, in a
But
bit
yeah,
because
so
it's worth
anyway,
exploring.
so that those two dichotomies are in this film. So you've got the violence part and the uh the peace part. So anyway, come to find out, there's this clan that lives in the forest and they are sort of overtaken by uh a more militant group of apes and captured and sent to their camps. And along the way, we are introduced to a new character, Noah, played by Owen Teague. And he is trying to, his clan has been taken, but he was somehow he managed to escape, or they thought he was dead, and he goes after them to rescue them. And along the way, they meet a human. First her name's Nova, but clear that they kind of changed that. And you come to find out that the humans are not altogether gone. They are still around, but the whole virus thing that was introduced in the films before about how it was affecting human brains, and then I suppose if you're exposed to it for a long period of time, you become more primitive, you can't speak and that kind of thing. So some of these humans have survived that. Anyway, I like I said, I enjoyed the narrative. It's kind of the setup for it, which is going to rescue, or getting to a port, that whole journey kind of thing is always a good plot device for me. I mean, I think that's always an effective plot device, following someone to go and get something, to rescue someone, and the adventures they find, and then when they get to the place, then what ends up happening. So yeah, I was along for the ride. I thought it was a nice cap. I don't know if it's my favorite of the series. I think, was it the last one? I think may have been it was the last one with,
Okay, so we had Rise of the Planet of the Apes,
right.
2011. Then we had Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, that was 2014, and then in 2017 we had War for the Planet of the Apes.
I think the war one was the one I liked the most.
Yeah,
It's the most
War was
impactful. It hit me harder than any of the other ones. The first one was, again, the first one made me cringe and sad. Animal mistreatment is always a bad thing to watch, in my opinion, and certainly with apes and stuff. So that first one was hard to watch. But then once the apes, became stronger, then the films shifted. But I think War was my favorite. But I did really like this one too. So Owen Teague did a nice job. Peter Macon from Orville plays a wise orangutan who Noah ends up finding along his way. And then Freya Allen, is that her name? I think
May,
yeah,
Nova
nice
May.
May.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to remember where I remembered her from, and it was The Witcher. I went, oh yes, yes, The Witcher.
Ah,
So
yes, you watch too much TV, but go on.
actually, you'd like it, I think. You should give it a shot. So yeah, I thought they all did a nice job, and like I said, I thought the plot moved along. It was long. It felt, it was a long film, but I
It
did,
was long.
yeah.
Yeah.
I maybe it could have been a little shorter here and there, but ultimately I was not bored. So at any point. So yeah, I liked it. How about you?
Good. I thought it was okay. Um, I'll start off by saying I wasn't a huge fan of the first Planet of the Apes, which was Dawn or Rise of the Planet of the
Yeah,
Apes. Wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. When Matt Reeves took over
yeah.
with Dawn and then War, that to me, like those movies, I mean, for a sequel, he
Yeah,
made a sequel to me that was better than that first one.
agreed.
Now, I'm also going to say that the original Planet of the Apes, I don't find as being campy. I love that movie. I think it's a, no, I don't. I mean, I think it's excellent science fiction.
Oh, it is.
It
No,
really
it is.
is.
You're right.
It's excellent science fiction in 1968 to do what they do and to tackle
Yeah,
those themes.
yeah.
No, I never take it as campy. And in 1968, what are you going to do? I think that the 1968 version is better than what, I mean, it did win for hair and makeup,
Oh,
I
I
believe.
know.
So yeah, I don't find it as I no, and the Rod Serling twist, who I believe he wrote the screenplay
Yes.
for it. Because it
Yeah,
has
that
all this
twist was
time
great.
travel.
When I mean campy, I mean now I think of it as it for its time, it was definitely a great film. It still is a great film, but I think now people kind of look at it more as sort of, campy, cheesy, because
Well,
of
then
some of Charles
they're
Heston's overacting. But other than
then
that,
they're mistaken. I'll just say no. I love the original Planet of the Apes, and I remember when it was a television show
yep,
for a short period of time too. So the Planet of the Apes has always been around in my lifetime. And there was a cartoon Planet of the Apes, and then we had the misfire of Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg, of course. So again, just going back to this new universe, like I thought what Matt Reeves did, I thought he was really, I thought his two movies and each one, like um Dawn was very good and War was even better. Like
yes,
and he had great writing behind him
right,
as well. And plus he had Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, um, and this was off based off of the Pierre Roulet book, because
right,
Planet of the Apes is based off a book. In Dawn, it was Mark Bombach, Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver. You had really solid writing. This one, I appreciate the journey, as you said. I liked it. I liked Wes Ball's direction. I thought he was a decent director. I had to look him up. He's credited for the Maze Runner
ah,
movies. I did like Freya Allen as May, and I did like Owen Teague. I like Nova. I thought the motion capture performances were very good. In fact, I felt that they were better than some of the digital. Like there was some stuff when they were like climbing
yeah,
and stuff that it looked fake. It looked like a special effects, but the motion capture performances I thought were really good. The narrative for me kind of tanks, especially the third act. I found it to be very clunky, almost to the point of absurd, because to your point, the movie starts off saying many generations. So the movie starts off. We know that Caesar dies, so it starts off in the world that we're familiar with.
right.
Goes to black. Title card comes up and says many generations later. I read on Deadline that many generations equals 300 years later.
Okay.
The end had some scenes that made me go, are you kidding me? Like, they go into a compound and the electricity still works. Like, the buttons look like they're not. I'm like, and this is supposed to be 300 years later. And then there says something to do with satellites. I'm like, are you really? Like, I have direct TV. Okay. And when a leaf blows in front of my direct TV, I lose television signal. Okay. You mean to tell me 300 years later, like in the, I'm like, okay. And then there was like then there was a scene that would have made Alfred Hitchcock proud that I was like, really? Okay. I kind of, I went along with it. It was fine. It was entertaining. I can't say that. 2.5 hours, that's a half hour too long. I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah,
Regardless of the performances. I thought it got better. Um, Look, the Planet of the Apes saga as a whole, what makes it really work when you're talking about science fiction is really there's got to be a human in the story.
yeah,
So I get that this is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I was like, okay, where's the human interaction? And that came when we met up with May,
right.
right? I liked May, and once May entered the scene, like the movie started. Okay, now we're picking up. Now
Yeah,
we're going on, and we're having
exactly.
that dichotomy. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, good. It was a good journey too. Like, and she was a good compatriot, if you want to
yes.
call her that, right? Um,
I also really liked, just FYI, I really liked the clan that that we come to know and like. I love the
yes,
idea that their whole, you know,
loved it.
modus is
Great
about
idea.
bird raising and eagle raising and how eagles bond with them. And I just thought that was kind of cool.
I don't disagree. I thought that was kind of, I was like, wow, okay, this is great. Like they were the clan of the Eagles or
Yeah.
something. I really enjoyed that as well. Um, So, which is, I thought the movie was okay. But I think you brought up something that I think is very worth discussing because it's the Caesar impact.
Aspect, yeah.
Okay. So here's what I took from it. There really was no Caesar impact except for one ape. Our Eagle clan, they knew nothing of Caesar.
That's true.
So time has kind of washed that Caesar away,
Right.
sadly. This militant clan, they knew not of that Caesar either,
Right.
because there was a human amongst them who they kept around, who taught them, and it was specifically said in this movie, by the way, is that it's Trevathan, played by William H. Macy.
Right.
He's like their history teacher,
Right.
but he teaches them Roman Empire Caesar.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is not the Caesar that we've, so hence
Right.
they are
Oh, I didn't
militant.
put that together. Yes. Okay, I get it. Yes.
So now, the one character that you talked about, this Raka, who's the orangutan, uh, played very well by Peter. Is it McCone or Macon?
Bacon, I think.
Macon.
Mhm.
He is a he is a child of Caesar, the Caesar we know, the Caesar
Right.
that brought the apes together, unity with humans, peaceful. He's the one that sacrificed himself for the apes. And he is the one that bestows his knowledge to Noah about there was this great ape Caesar.
Right.
So we're seeing, so Noah, who has no concept of Caesar because his clan has no concept of Caesar, 300 years, history is, I guess you could say, kind of not kind to Caesar. He's kind of forgotten.
Yeah,
His
that's true.
stories are not gone on. And then you have the other Caesar who is going by a human who obviously didn't know that Caesar, and he teaches them Roman Empire history. Interesting that he didn't tell that our Proximus Caesar, that Caesar was killed by his own people. Huh. But anyways, so
Well, that's
it's
what I'm
very
saying about
fascinating.
the two, you
Yeah,
know.
no, it's very, that part was actually kind of fascinating to me. And at the same time, okay, so you're giving us something new. You also mentioned, now here's what I really liked about this thing. I did like the nods to the 68 Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes,
Yes.
how they were rounding up the humans, how they were, yeah, I mean, all of that was right out of
Yep.
that movie, including there were some audio cues in the score that very much echoed
Ah,
the
interesting.
score of the original Planet of the Apes. Loved it. Loved that. No, I really, yeah. I mean, I was like, okay. I was like going, oh, all right. So this is where we're at. Like, this is where we're at. Like, a rocket ship's gonna fall out of the
Right.
sky.
I
Somebody's
thought
gonna
maybe
get
she
up,
was
blah,
going to
blah, blah,
say,
blah,
"Oh,
blah,
I'm
blah.
from another time."
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay.
But
And
I
it
did
didn't go there.
I did like how, so I mean, we all know we were on the earth. So I mean,
Right.
that twist can't ever happen again, obviously, because that was what the
Right.
great twist of the original was.
Right.
So, but I thought Freya did a really nice job with the character because
Same
she
here.
was on a mission, but she also had a lot of empathy. And when she is seeing the humans who are now, completely primitive and caveman like, it really affects her. She's crying because she knows, her character is interesting to me because she
Agreed.
she's a human and she knows that the humans used to be the dominant people, and we don't want to give too much away, but
No,
there is still a faction of the humanity that we know that was the original, humans, and
right.
she feels indignant that her world is gone and now it's run by apes. So, but at the same time, it's just like when the apes, like when Caesar felt empathy for the humans, for the man who raised him, and then, the Jason Clark character, and I think Dawn, um, they you find empathy with whatever animals there. So it was kind of an interesting sort of theme to that, I thought.
I don't disagree. Like, I really liked her character too. And I thought that the movie really started to move forward once that character was came into play. However, again, there was nothing said about her. I didn't know how did she know? Again, we're 300 years out of that. So she's
Well, I
generations,
mean, you kind of
generations,
get a clue.
generations.
You got a clue at the end of it, even
Mm,
though you didn't like the way it ended. That was
yeah,
obviously they already knew about everything. Remember, she had a map,
but,
everything.
she had a map, but again, nothing of that was explained, and then nothing.
Well, I thought
Look,
it.
I mean, I see. I here, and okay, just spoiler alert right here. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the ending. So, spoiler alert. If you have not seen it, just stop right here. Come back. I don't know. Fast forward and go see the movie, and then pick up right here and
Yeah,
watch the rest. She was not allowed into the compound
yeah, because you know
at the
why?
end because they thought maybe she had the disease, I guess. But then how do they know? Like, then where is she from? Like, there's nothing that says where these people are from and how do they know their history and how do they know, like, who are these people? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
again,
I
I
get it. I
wanted
get it.
more
I
of
get that
that. And
you like
we,
explanation. You like more explanation than I do.
well, I don't mind. In a movie like this, it kind like you can't be
I
ambiguous.
well,
Like,
I think you
how
can.
did May come about? No, where did May come from?
Well, I
Like, how
think
does
didn't
she
they
know?
establish in some of the other films that some humans were immune to this virus, and so it didn't
Yes,
affect them.
yes,
So I
no,
have
I
a
get it.
feeling that May came from a faction of humans who were unaffected by the virus and therefore were
But
allowed to
it
know about
should
it.
have been done in exposition, like, because
I don't think
obviously
so.
she starts. I do. I mean,
I
it has to be
understood.
said. Yeah, but it has to be said to an audience who may have never seen a Planet of the Apes movie, and this is their first foray. And to go into this, and there should have been, like, I would have liked more conversation because I thought that the connection between May and Noah, because they actually started to listen to one another. Even though there's
Yeah,
ape and human, they actually started to listen and they each had empathy for one another. And it would have been nice if May had said, yes, this virus did this and
yeah,
I come
that's true.
from this.
I guess you're right.
And
Yeah.
Noah didn't even ask the question to go, where do you come from? Like, I've
Well,
never
he
seen a
did.
human like you. I've never seen someone like you. And she didn't say
He did
anything.
ask that. And she said,
Uh,
I was with a camp and they came and they killed everybody.
Right. But she didn't explain her. She didn't explain her camp. She didn't like that would have been nice. Now, if this ends up being, and I don't know, if there ends up being another movie or two more movies, it seems as if it's going to focus on Noah, which I don't have a problem with. I again, I liked Noah.
Oh
I
yeah.
liked May. We had an okay villain. Um, who again? He was
Kevin
played by Kevin
Durant.
Durant.
He's having a time of it.
God bless him.
He's having a summer.
He is. God bless him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he was fine. Yeah, it's like I said, I feel it was just kind of their third act needed to be tightened up. I would have liked more. Oh, I really
I
would have
agree.
liked, like, I did like Raka a lot.
Yeah.
And I would have I liked how Raka and Noah along their journey, that's where they met up with May. It would have been great had Raka spoken with May a lot more too,
Yeah.
because Raka seemed to be the wise old sage
Yeah.
orangutan, and um, I appreciated, like, it would have been like it would have been great. Like, I liked the threesome there, that bond,
I did. I
that
did too.
tri bond between them. I like the friendship between the three of them. It made for a more humanistic movie, and
Yeah.
it was really good. That part I liked, but it for me, it just to me it was kind of like the first one where they kind of missed some certain things. I don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah.
It ended all right, as far as I was concerned. All in all, I didn't hate the movie. What it was, so 5 stars. How many? What would you give it?
I think well, I'm probably gonna do a little higher than you. I think I'd give it 4 stars. Because I just, I don't know. I feel the universe, the what they have created, even if they've had some missteps, what they've created is very rich and interesting to me. And I love the look of it. I loved, all you can spot, I guess they were at like LAX or something, maybe, or something, some airport at one point. And I don't know, that kind of stuff I loved. I love the way it looked. And I like the idea of the story. I mean, I really do. I think it's a fascinating story, and it's intriguing to me. So yeah, 4 stars for me.
Mhm. 4 for you. Okay. Yeah, I give it 3. I'm not, I don't put it in the very good category, but 3, it didn't make me angry. It did feel long. Again, the motion capture performances, we're here, we're Sans Indie Circus,
Yeah.
right? We have,
I did
look, a
miss
lot of these
I
people,
did kind of miss Caesar a little bit.
sure. I mean, well,
That's a great character. It was a great character, and Andy was amazing.
he was, and we stuck with him for 3 movies,
Yeah.
so, um, a lot of these people, I was like, who is this person? I don't know who this,
I
like,
know.
who's
Do you
talking right
know,
now.
I was
But
sitting
I
on the
kind of
I was
like
sitting
them.
on the end of the aisle, so I had my phone down
Oh,
like this, going, say, who is that? Oh, and Teague. Oh, okay. And then wait, I went, oh, okay.
so that was you. No,
No, I
I'm
totally
kidding.
turned down. No one could
Uh,
see the light. I was
uh,
very
uh,
discreet
uh.
about it.
Yeah, but you know what? I have to, about that. I kind of like the fact that, like, I didn't even really recognize Kevin Durant. I
Yeah,
kind of like the fact that there wasn't quote unquote star power behind it,
yeah.
because then, like, throughout the movie, I'll go, oh,
So I thought Rock at first was Lawrence Fishburne. I hadn't even looked at that.
I kind of, who's is that, Lawrence? But see, I'm glad that it wasn't,
Yeah,
right? Because it kind of takes you out of the movie. It's the Richard Donner effect for when he's picking Superman. I really don't want a star for
right.
this. I want to pick someone that, so nobody can go, oh, look, it's like Robert Redford
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whoever.
yeah,
I like that I didn't quite recognize any of the voices, so that I could get drawn in a little more. And then afterwards, I look them up, and my phone, just for the record, when I go to the movies and just before the movie starts, my phone gets shut off. I don't use it for reference. I don't use it to take notes. I no, this is, I told you that story. I think I shared that
yeah,
story with a movie with the
yeah.
person, a reviewer, a critic, would literally had their phone on taking notes, and the thing was blaring like a lighthouse. And I was like,
Yeah,
really?
no,
Like,
that's
and you're one of us.
no,
So I'm not
I
saying you did that. I
no,
know
no,
you're,
I definitely don't look at my phone, but I had to because I just had to
yeah.
know, but I did it
And
in a
you and
very
I have
discreet
been
way.
to many a movie together. At this point, time, I love going to the movies together with you.
Yeah.
I actually wish we could have seen this one
Yeah.
together. And I know that we both
I saw
fell
it
for
in
the Fall
IMAX.
Guy.
Did you?
I did see it in IMAX. I did.
Good
Yeah,
in
yeah.
IMAX. Yeah.
It really did. Look, it again, it's another summer movie
Yep.
that I think delivers entertainment. I think for the most part, people are going to like it. I thought it was okay. As you said, I wasn't bored. I did look at my watch a few times. What 2.5 hours is a little bit. That's a little bit long. It's a
Yeah.
little unnecessary. I was on for the journey, and I, like yourself, I do enjoy a good journey movie, because that's, there's a character arc. I enjoyed that clan
Yeah.
and what they represented, and I enjoyed the dichotomy of Caesars,
Right.
and what 300 years does
Right.
to history and time, and who's keeping this history and time,
Right.
right? So that, to me, that's a great science fiction trope, by the ways.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated those themes of this movie. I just wish there were some that were better explored. So that's why I give it a 3. And yeah, so there it is for Kingdom. Will we get
Yay.
another couple more? It seems to, because this movie
Maybe.
didn't have a clear ending. I mean, they left it open for at least one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
I
Well,
wouldn't
that sounds
mind.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
So what's
not a
next
bad way.
week? I am traveling again next week, but I'm not sure. What's the biggie next week? We may have to.
What is it Furiosa? I
Oh,
think the 17th.
am I
Yeah, I
missing?
think it's I think it's Furiosa.
Oh no.
Is
Oh no, I want to see
opens next week.
that. I mean, I'm gonna
Well,
see it, but I want to see.
when are you coming back?
Um, I'm back the following week. So let's see. Hold on. Uh, no, next week's If
Oh, if okay.
and Stranger
If
Chapter 1.
and oh
No,
yeah.
thank you. I'm not seeing that. I'm sorry. No, thank you.
I
No, thank
I
you.
could so care less.
That
Saw a
first one
trailer
scared
for
the
it.
crap out of me. Okay, didn't like it.
Yeah, I
Didn't
was
like it.
I didn't like it.
Scared me.
Not
Scared me.
because
Scared me.
yeah, it didn't scare me. It angered me. Just let it die already. It's going to be a stranger to me at the box office this summer. But if I really do want to see, perhaps Furious is the week after. I think also next
Yeah.
week is Back in Black or Back to Black.
Oh
Back to
yeah.
Black. I
Right.
did see that movie. No, trite, very, very trite and hallmarkish. And I was very surprised as to it really. We always talk about movies that don't hold their punches. This
Right.
movie held all of its punches. I was actually quite amazed. If you want to see a good if you want to see something that's fantastic about Amy Winehouse, there's a great documentary on Max put out by A24 a few years ago. A half hour of that documentary has more in it than this
Yeah.
2 hour Back to Black movie. Anyways, his Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think we're leaving with a positive grade. Love to know what you, the audience who watch us, what did you think of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Oh, let's so all right. You said War. War was your favorite.
I think
What's
so.
your
Yeah.
second?
Dawn,
What Dawn. Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Then what's your third?
then Kingdom, then Rise.
Oh, see, yeah, that's a tough one for me. I don't know
Because
which one.
Rise, I mean, it's just I know it was setting it all up, but it's a good movie, but I think it just leaves me going, "Ugh, I hate animal mistreatment. I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's in there. I just find that it's interesting that the drug, like again, I don't think. I mean, Franco,
Yeah,
James Franco's
right,
character creates a drug for his dad who's suffering
right,
from Alzheimer's. So
right.
he's trying to do something. I think he might, I forget, it's been a while. He may have cut corners, but I don't think he did anything out of pure vanity.
No,
I don't think
no,
it was like 100% vanity. I think he was
no.
actually
He
trying
was
to
a good
save his
guy.
dad.
He was a good guy,
Yeah.
but it was
Trying to
just
save
how
his,
Caesar was in this. I mean, all of that kind of
yeah,
animal testing, all of that. I mean, it's
yeah,
just.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
like I said, I mean, if we're going to put them in order like that, it's not
yeah,
anything lesser on the films themselves. I did enjoy all of them on their
yeah.
merit, but
Like many a series, like a few series, like I can't point to anyone within this universe, this newly created universe. I can't point to one and say that movie was awful.
yeah, you
Like
can't.
none of them made me
No,
angry. And
no,
and so that's actually a good thing to say about a series that now what? This is the fourth one,
right.
right? Four movies in, and I can't point to one and say, God, that was an awful movie.
Okay, so
And I would never say.
the only awful Planet of the Apes movie that we can probably agree on is Tim Burton's, correct?
Well, there's Tim Burton, there's Beneath the Planet of the Apes,
Oh,
there's
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
there
not
are
talking
the
about the
ones that
sequels.
they're the ones those are campy and cheesy.
Yes.
One of them I forget which one it was. They filmed it in downtown Century City. Like it's like, oh my God, that's crazy. But yeah, the Tim Burton one is definitely a misfire. And
Yeah,
he had a great cast to
he
work with
did.
too.
Tim,
And it
I have to say though, I think uh what's his name? Timothy oh shoot. Who plays the bad guy? Why am I blanking on his name?
oh Roth.
Roth. Tim
Roth.
Roth, yeah.
Tim
He
Roth.
was a really good bad guy.
He was a good bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in this world, I don't disagree with your rankings. Perhaps the same for me
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. So tell us what you thought of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Hopefully, you see it in a very great premium large format, whether
Absolutely.
it be Dolby or whether IMAX. It did look great. I can't take away from for the most part, visual effects were great. I thought the motion capture acting was pretty decent. Yeah, considering we don't have Andy Serkis,
Right.
I thought the motion capture performances were actually very good.
Yeah.
Here they were captured well. And West Ball, Maze Runner guy. I think this is better than the Maze Runner movies,
I liked the
and
first one, but yeah.
I think he did a good job here. So good stuff.
Good
Anyways,
stuff.
we'd love to know what you think. Thank you, Kit. This is wonderful. I hope we yeah, we'll figure out what our next movie is.
Yeah,
And hopefully
absolutely.
we get to see that movie together.
Yeah, well, let's try to see Furiosa together.
Yes. Okay.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
that.
We'll
Okay.
talk later. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Try not to work too hard today. It is Friday.
Yes,
And
have a great
have an
weekend.
awesome weekend. Noel. Take care.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.